Hello, hello, all you beautiful people. And the ugly ones too. How do you do? How do you do? I'm Definition 83. Thanks for choosing to spend your time with me. Hope everybody had a good Wednesday, having a good day, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it be for you, depending on the side of the pond you're on. My day was good. Nothing to complain about. It's damn cold here. For those of you around the world, which is most of you that follow Celsius. Let's see here. Let's double check. It's been pretty damn cold most of the day, and right now she'll be minus 26. Feels like minus 36, so it's actually a little warmer than what I actually thought it was. In Fahrenheit, that would be minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like minus 33. So, yeah. Damn cold here. Very strange around these parts for late February. Especially with the amount of snow we've had the last few days. I think we've actually got more snow on the ground than when we have for the last few years at least. And the thing is we've had a very mild winter, but the last few dumps have just been huge dumps, so. Like, snow has been on the rare side, like actual snowing, it's stayed around, but yeah, like actual snowing has been on the rare, but when it has, it's freaking snowed. So, welcome to Canada. But we're gonna continue this chat as we start our customonial start of the stream bowl. So if you got any, be sure to partake and join in and light up. Hope everybody enjoying that half part of the week. Feel free to say hi if you're out there, or if you're watching the VOD. Hello, hello. Sorry, it's not house party. Can't do that every day. I gotta start, maybe pacing myself a little bit, because we got big DLC coming here pretty soon, so we'll see. But tonight, I guess I better talk about that. We're gonna be doing some Not For Broadcast again. Had a lot of fun with this the other night. So, with that, just trying to keep the news all on the go. I thought that was going to be the majority of the game. And now, all of a sudden, I'm fighting evil Furbys and stuff like that. And kind of now, from what I've seen, kind of just going through the challenge room and stuff, things are about to get a lot crazier. So, not to mention, things aren't already going crazy with trying to, keep the news going and censored and everything. That's always been fun. Yeah, the only thing I haven't been digging is just all the text-based stuff. Like, we're on 154, like day 154. But I have played, what, maybe 4 or 5 actual broadcasts. I played 1, 2, 3, 4 broadcasts. And I streamed for like, what, almost 4 hours on the last one? It's a little too much of the tech stuff for my liking, but the broadcast stuff, oh, freaking great. So, we'll see how far we can get, or how much more there is left of this. There's another one I want to get, another FMV game. It's like who muted Uncle somebody, and it's done by the same people who did the 5 and 10 dates game we did the other night. But I think it's more of like a lockdown, like, you know, time one, and probably, I think, in a Zoom meeting, because obviously who muted them, right? So okay, well, I think we're ready to get this show on the go here. So I'll get this all on the go here.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you start to see the people never
I'm telling you,
happy.
this
It's
Stream
never
Deck has
enough.
made things so much easier. Alright, let's continue with Bad Idea, day 154. The Rude Awakening. Let me adjust my headset because I realized it was down last time and that stuff was loud. So I apologize about last time we did this. I did actually go make sure this time it was down. Oh yeah, I forgot we get to ruin people's reputations by what we show on the news here. I forgot. What? Okay, a rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor brings you slowly back to consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone into focus. Looking up, Sam's face is a mixture of concern and frustration. Things haven't been great between you two lately, and Chris hasn't been helping things. Looming at Sam's shoulder with a sour expression, it's clear there's still no love lost between the two of you. While Sam clearly is worried about you, the family scowl is obvious on both of their faces. I can choose. You reach out a hand to Sam. Thanks for coming, honey. Or I can't believe I've just woken up to the gruesome twosome. Things aren't going well with them, and I think I better be. Thanks for coming. Just, you know, I don't want things to get too out of control, you know. The worry for you wins out, and Sam takes your hand before leaning in to kiss your forehead. Of course, sweetheart. I could never have been anywhere else. For the first time in a while, you both genuinely smile at each other before you look to the rest of your family. Susie is standing next to Sam, less worried now that you're awake and smiling. You can see Sam's worry on your daughter's face, but it quickly turns to a frown when she notices you looking at her. I'm glad you're okay. It's muttered more than said, a grudging acknowledgement that despite your recent differences, she still cares. There. You go, thanks for coming. You groan back playfully, or thanks for coming is all you can manage slightly. Be playful. Susie can't help but smile back at you, rolling her eyes good-natured. It's great to have her here. Charlie catches your eye as he fidgets with the edge of the blanket. Okay, you cock your head and look at him, one eyebrow raised question. As soon as you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tense up, his concern clear on his face. So, you're definitely good, right? He finally asked, quickly looking away. Of course I am, buddy. There's nothing to worry about. And I'll be fine, Charlotte. Leave the blanket. How about nothing to worry about? Charlie looks at you and grins. One of those infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. Your smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all of your best efforts, she's not been doing well lately. Are you okay, Mom? Your mother starts. Your call clearly shocked her out of her reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you for what feels like the 100th time how you're feeling. Surprisingly well, all things considered. Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a bit of shock to the old system. Pardon the pun. Oh yeah, we got shocked real bad last time, didn't we? She smiles. Now we recommend you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple of days rested home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, in the private room and care, the doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive. Has all been paid for by a Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Seems like the least he could do. And we're all the way to 180. More talking. Yay. Come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. He shoots you a strained smile as you take a seat next to him. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they're holding. Hey, sweetheart, just looking at the numbers again. They look to the door to the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. What? Really? Okay. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly, the bills are all you can see. Fortunately, with the money that's been coming in and what we've been able to save, we've got more than enough to keep going. Sam smiles at you. I know things have been difficult, and the daily care won't be cheap, but she's your mother. We have to really, don't we? Carefully smile back. Of course, you'll pay for the care your mother needs, or your mother hasn't been herself for a long while. Maybe it's time to consider the other option. Sam seems somewhat taken aback. Well, she's your mother, Alex. I can't tell you what to do, but I don't think it's what she would want. They hesitate before continuing, but then maybe she would. She hasn't been her old self for so long. I don't know. It's up to you. No, you're right. We'll find the money. This isn't how she'd want her final years to be if she was still herself. Tomorrow, we'll need to tell the kids and then book an appointment at the transition center. What else could you have done? Or 232 days now. Like that. Big jump. Like a month and a half. Well, obviously went to the loading screen, so we're obviously getting a broadcast. Finally. Long loading time, so maybe it's a longer episode. Or just a bunch of crap going on in the background that's got a little, so like, you know, the different screens and that. Now, are we still in lockdown? Because last time we were all in lockdown. The silence. Oh yeah, I put this thing on. I just like to turn you on.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to both of them.
Oh, good. I can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
Crazy nail.
Jenny.
Sorry, Kath, I'm gonna have to leave.
What?
Let me go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
That's all
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Sorry,
high and
5,
mighty and do your job.
You'll
4,
have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
I think it's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. We're supposed to get her transitioned. What's the government doing about it, eh?
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial
I
announcement.
almost forgot about the censor.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognize these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks, punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down a bloody Swanee. And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington Smith's physics-defying MOVES project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been beset by problems, including localized tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converge on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards, demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick.
So, any thoughts about the MOVES project, one way or the other?
Well, that is something I really care about.
Fantastic, great. So, what do you think about it?
So yeah, the moves project.
Well, ever since Harold grew his, we've had much better options on Tassel Tuesdays.
No, we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about the tunnel through the earth.
Oh, stupid of me. Well, in that case, I don't really care. I'm a different love.
The delicate sound of thunder have frightened
just
staff and commuters this
don't
morning
care.
who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment.
They're going to be happy about it.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Ah, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak online, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we?
Is that the couple from before? That's
Wherever
like
it is,
completely
it loves
opposite.
Disrupt, fighting the Oiks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Build that wall. Divided doctors David
She
Wong
just,
and
like,
Ingrid
got it done,
Swansborg and Organsford today sent an intriguing blueprint to the surface for a simple solution to their increasingly isolationist communities.
In an accompanying statement, the pair reported that the current system of a dotted line painted on the floor has proven unreliable, especially after a few drinks.
But how should we feel about sending construction materials to this disparate community? Patrick Bannon again.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. Right. Oh, Jesus, wet.
No, she's smoking.
Christ, have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right.
The trapped scientists. Brilliant.
Okay.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team Membership Cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, rightfully,
If I put angry, I better get
And
that
of
censor
course,
button
there's
ready.
no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Whatever I want.
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. That's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification?
Oh, she almost got to
And then it's,
speak.
would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your derriere.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon! I'm so sorry.
Algernon.
Crikey.
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt to cash in on his bad boy
There's no
status,
swearing in there.
Shane celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew, entitled Headbutt Ale in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his notoriety? Patrick?
Disgusting.
Wise words there.
Later tonight,
It's
in a
just
bit
for
of a
beer.
switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy to share
Disgusting.
spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a
Jay
familiar team of
Zus.
thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
Is that supposed to
That's
be
all
like a
coming
play
up
on
on
like
tonight.
Jesus
National
or
Lightning
Jay-Z?
That's the titles.
Gotta go check my makeup.
I mean, there was someone to root for.
She's not your enemy.
Is it you then?
No, it's Bannon. He's been
I-
sending
I-
little
I
messages to Bozeman after every show.
put-
Of course, it's the only credible solution.
Yes, he's very disappointed.
Yes, until now I thought of Mrs. Son I'd never had.
I prefer you like this.
Going in 10 seconds.
Did I miss?
Sorry, I snapped.
I totally missed the whole thing of the show.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight we have
Screwed that up as mentioned. Talked to Retro on that, and yeah, because I thought I was going to an ad, or yeah, so I'm like, why are they locked? Oh God, this thing's going off, and then I was like, oh, the opening, yeah. My bad. Totally my bad. Hopefully, yeah, it's not the whole damn broadcast. Like, it's just kind of right after the watch. It's gonna be right after the I apologize. I didn't think it would be from the beginning. I figured it would have. My bad, everybody.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise I'm beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jen, Jeremy. Yours.
It'll be all right.
Oh, good. You can tell him to turn his wife's casserole dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
What?
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
That's all
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
In
high-mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
Let me find
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
Waffle is fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government?
This time they don't care.
Robin Short found out.
Hi there. Robin Short, National Nightly News. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on the current government.
I'm not really very interested in politics, really. As Mother always said, leave politics to the politicians, Malcolm.
Okay.
A whole lot of
Good-
problems.
good words.
Protests were held today at the
no.
controversial
I don't
construction
do
site
politics.
for Remington's Fist's physics-defying moves project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been beset by problems, including localized tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converge on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick?
What's your opinion of the Moves project?
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What's to stop it, right? Dropping out the other end and just falling forever.
Gravity?
No, it don't exist.
Oh yeah.
Gravity doesn't exist.
The delicate sound of thunder. A frightening start for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the oiks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Build that wall. Developed
Algernon.
doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg and Organsford today sent an intriguing blueprint to the surface for a simple solution to their increasingly isolationist communities.
In an accompanying statement, the pair reported that the current system of a dotted line painted on the floor has proven unreliable, especially after a few drinks.
But how should we feel about sending construction materials to this disparate community? Patrick Bannon again.
How much help should we give the trapped scientists with their wall?
How much? I'll tell you how much. This much.
Was finally opened today for the new Advanced Team Membership Cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. That's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your berry out.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon! I'm so sorry.
Can we? I want to stay on this. I want to find out what's going on here.
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt to cash in on his bad boy status, Shame celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew, entitled Headbutt Ale in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market
Okay, so
his
the other one went to
notoriety?
the angry
Patrick?
guy, so I'm hoping this will go to the old couple again. Damn it.
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zust. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. Thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lancashire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
No, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Oh, yeah, I should have
joining us
things
is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard or labor camp who wake up inside body of crazy expensive prostitute.
What?
In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Avance's defiant stance?
Vance is like man who think he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, and we have like some of the cleanest mental health care facilities in the continent, yeah.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here.
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like vote thing, yeah? But it's actually the Festival of Fureland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So like we all had to work our grandparents clean out whilst the vote was happening, and that's like a really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man? It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. And like my friend Helga, she got arrested, yeah, for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean,
what?
It was a jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a right cracker too.
Ham sandwich? No, I want a ham
We seem to be
sandwich.
wondering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call. Yeah, let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Christ, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, young man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vein. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Björk?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. In Svenland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like a really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant Newton-haired bear. But really, he's just standing in field
Holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep.
Really?
We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Damn it!
Reassuring words there.
We'll be back.
After these messages.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy Big 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
This is important. New government censorship. censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
Why?
Are you still meant to bow? Foreign royalty.
What?
Should I just like curse?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Meghan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite alright.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
He put that get up on himself. Just saying.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Hi, thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on this show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she lay there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I
think I'm doing actually a pretty good job on this one.
It's just too hard. But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promised you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah, you love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First,
You're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Juliet require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise of the press of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling bet getters, and burn them on the powers of advanced fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team, and advance his little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry corrupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you
I guess
so
I should
much
have
for
been
joining
using
us
the
in the studio.
keypad.
Back. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word.
Fuck 'em.
We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
A bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad. Jenny, this is fucking
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR.
This is ridiculous.
And a new tape. How's that break?
mix up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you
trust
to
me.
leave.
My father's going to hear about this.
I already did that way ahead of you.
This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Have come up with a solution to a problem all Glow Poppers share.
Jeez, I love our foreign vacations, Janet. I just hate flying.
I know what you mean, Brad. It takes so long and it can be pretty scary.
Well, let's face it, it's pretty
Yeah. Yeah, Janet.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, shut up.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Mona,
Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a low-order demon.
Yes, it is
Oh, this guy's straight out of the 90s.
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1. When they tell me it can be
Camera 2.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Radin, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, yeah, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre.
Wait, who have you touched?
I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said I'd been offered a gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me.
Yeah, there should be something going on.
Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
My life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You were an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed
The
of
Tommy Harris.
treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or god-forsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yeah. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
Wish I'd find some way to know when these are coming on and when they're ending.
You'll never take the sacred path!
Am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, is actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation, and people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when
Really?
I'll be
That was
interviewing
very
the
uneventful
world's most
anyway.
attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Oh,
yes.
That was a good time to put that Advance ad on, I guess. We got C, not bad. I just wish they would have, you know, gave me more warning of when those videos that they're supposed to be in the background and stuff, like, coming and going, you know? Give me a countdown or something, like, in the screen. Multiple holidays, that's what I had last time. Not better than the last run. That was fun though. I like those little broadcasts. I like this drunk prime minister. Reminds me a little Jeremy Clarkson. Here we go, another 20 minutes reading here. Alright, day 242, a ladder worth climbing. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon. In summer with you and Sam making the most of both kids being out of the house. You head into the pantry, taking a moment to remember when it used to be your mother's room before coming up with the last 2 slices of homemade cake. It's rare for you and Sam to actually get to finish sweet things in this house, and you savor every mouthful. Just as you take your last bite, you hear the sound of the front door slamming. That'll be Charlie back from the Go-Getters. That was the name of my soccer team when I was a kid. You can hear him practically running to come find you, and he's grinning from ear to ear when he finally does. I have some really big news. You and Sam play along, sitting attentively with bated breath. Ready? Charlie asks as you both nod enthusiastically. With a flourish, he reveals a new badge from his pocket. Proudly presents it to you both to examine. As he announces, as of today, I'm a member of the first tier of Cohesion Cadets. There's way more stuff I'm gonna be doing, and I'll be working some weekends, but it's really cool. Sam congratulates Charlie as you can't help but frown. It seems to be a big step for teenagers. You and Sam going back at your son. You're thrilled that he's happy and doing well. We're gonna go with that first one. My boy's growing up too fast. A grown-up child. They know me. Alright. We're already at day 257. We've always had dinner as a family for the important events, and tonight is no exception. You've even invited Chris round as an olive branch. Or Sam did. And that's why, apparently. It'll be the last time you'll be all going to be... Yeah. It'll be the last time you're all going to be together for a while. So far, you've managed to avoid fighting with Chris or Susie over politics, which Sam is in no doubt grateful for. With her exams and your work, you've not seen much of Susie. Of course, Sam's glad Chris is there, but you're not sure what's worse. Their company or the empty place at the table where your mother should be sitting with her ever-present mug of tea. So Alex, I believe you had a few words, Sam probably asked, nodding towards Susan. Your mother cocks an eyebrow. Or your daughter cocks an eyebrow with a quizzical expression, and you can't help but see a little of yourself in it. Ah, yes, of course. So, I thought we put... Okay, I don't know really what's kind of going on in this universe here, you know. Okay, did we put the mother in a home? Because she could easily be there if it's a holiday, right? Like if it's Christmas or something, she could be there. So, yeah, did we put her in a home, or did we, hopefully we didn't sedate the poor woman. Ah, yes, of course. What's this about? Susie asks, laughing as she takes a drink of her champagne and Jason's sparkling wine. Sam made a point this afternoon that it was a big day and that you should all just be celebrating her achievement. So our little Susie. Come on, and without him, up with it, Alex. We're waiting. Chris laughs, clinking glasses with Susie. Chris seems to be in good spirits, at least, even if they're chiming in unhelpingly as usual. So, please, Chris, I'm just trying to congratulate my daughter. I just wanted to say we're proud of you, Sam. Well done for getting in the night school. Just gonna ignore his ass. Oh, Susan with cheery smile becomes her grin as she gets up, comes around the table and gives you a big hug. I'm gonna miss you. You can't see Sam start to tear up as they stand enjoying the embrace. Miss us? Are you going somewhere? A good question. Susie laughs, breaking the hug. No, you're not getting rid of me yet, but I'll probably have to leave when I get my first posting. Oh, hush now, let's not talk about that. Sam cuts her off, smiling. The rest of the evening passes as a happy blur, and even Chris behaves himself. You couldn't be prouder. There's gonna be more talking. I could care less, just let me broadcast the news. Alright, 278 sign of things to come. Shopping. Somewhat that always seemed to be tedious before the sanctions has become even more of a chore. You managed to get almost everything you needed for the family this evening, but you'll have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully whatever's causing it won't be long. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realize the queue is actually due to a truck stop check stop at the exit. A friendly-looking man in advanced uniform CO in a number of places on it approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. You roll it down. Good evening. Nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Aren't these cards supposed to be voluntary? I'm sorry, I don't have one. I thought we did get one. That's not a problem. We've got phones with us right here, and we're more than happy to sign it. The man gestures to his car behind him. The young woman in a similar uniform. She clearly received the short end of the stick and is stuck with the paperwork. And I suppose I might as well. As you're here. I thought these cards weren't required. Well, strictly speaking, they're not. But there's also loads of benefits of having them, and no reason not to get one. The smile fades a bit, and then he puts a hand up to scratch the back of his neck for a moment. He leans over you, his presence now seeming a little intimidating. No thanks, it's not something I want to do right now. Almost instantly, a friendly demeanor is gone, and his expression is one of stern disapproval. Well, obviously, I can't make you sign up, but I would strongly recommend you do, and soon. We wouldn't want people to think you had anything to hide, would we? He takes a step back and gestures for you to drive on. For sure you see him writing something down in the rear view mirror, as you head home somewhat more hurriedly than before. Clearly, Advance are very keen on everyone joining the team. We're talking, okay. An invitation worth ignoring. It's a Saturday, one of your few days off, and you've made the most of it. But as late afternoon draws on, the invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Bozeman was very quick to tell you, also, don't you dare be late. It's probably not wise to wish Bozeman's wrath. Better go. You already missed your anniversary this year. You're not giving up another Saturday. I better go. Best start getting ready. You wonder if Sam will give you a lift. A drink or two might help with the enforced office socializing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. After all, you're pretty good at your job. Right? Kinda. Kind of, I guess, right? Alright, you arrive on time at the Sauvignon, one of the oldest and grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see the queue to get in and quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the doors by some very military-looking personnel in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice just how very opulent the building is. Possibly the fanciest place you've been to in your life. You submit to being patted down and with the sigh of relief are let into the hotel. Once inside, you're directed to the grand ballroom, and following the signs, you marvel at the sheer scale of the place and the amount of armed security guards. Yeah, I know the story. When you finally arrive, a very severe-looking woman at the door asks you for your name. I'm Alex Winston. She currently checks her list before whispering something to the waiter beside her. You made it just in time to be seated before dinner. Please follow Emmanuel here to your table. The waiter smiles at you and opens one of the great double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately, you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. You pause for a second to take it all in. feel a slight tap on your arm and Emmanuel gestures for you to follow. He seats you at the table in the central floor area with a decent view of the stage. Clearly, you're in Bozeman's good books at the moment. You sat with some colleagues you've seen around the Channel 1 offices before, but don't know it that well. One of them informs you far too excitedly that it's a very corporate evening of awards and speeches. At least the food should be good. Dinner is indeed lovely, with the help of the, no doubt, very expensive wine conversation flows easily enough. In fact, much of your surprise, you're actually presented with an award for Best Newcomer to the Channel 1 family. And this was unexpected. Isn't that a janitor like before? So like, isn't that how we go? Okay, I got the award. Okay, I kind of almost want to skip a lot of this. As you walk up to collect it, you recognize the presenter as Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blumley of Incestors fame. He thanks Advance for sponsoring this year's gala before specifically thanking Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement for being in attendance tonight. As you take the stage, you see the frontmost central table does indeed seat the Prime Ministers, as well as Bozeman, Meghan, and some other very well-to-do types that you don't recognize. That explains all the security. As you're handed the award, Dr. Atkinson Blumley asks you if you'd like to say a few words. You make a joke, thanking Dave for fleeing the country and leaving you his job. Most of the room breaks out into polite laughter, but you see that neither of the Prime Ministers cracks so much of a smile. Nor does Bozeman. He's too busy frantically flipping between examining Peter and Julia for the reaction, and glaring daggers at you. Eventually, they join in light applause as Adrian ushers you back to your seat. This may not have been as far as me. Why? I thought, crack the eggs, Just as you finish up dinner, one of the other people at your table points behind you. As you turn to see Bozeman walking briskly past with Julie Salisbury and Peter Clement on top. You're pretty sure he was pointing at you. He seems to be introducing the Prime Ministers to a selection of people at different tables. Better them than you. You finish off the rest of the meal, listen to the last few speeches, and then head home. All in all, it was a surprisingly nice evening. You might actually look forward to the next one, providing Bozeman invites you to that one, of course. Jeebus with. Oh, thank. And as you can tell by me trying to stay awake while reading there, we're going to do this broadcast and we'll call all of it. Getting tired, and I probably should have ate before I streamed. But, you know me. I stream, I can't turn the subtitles off, but thanks for letting me know. I turned them on, but thanks for the reminder, game. The heat wave. Oh no. Oh no. Man.
Alex, you will notice the valves are heating up excessively due to the current heat wave. When they get too
hosed down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Give me the willies.
10 seconds, everybody.
He's losing
So,
it.
any actual real news tonight?
Oh, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago,
I don't know what
Prime
one's what.
Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
No mistake. This blood and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned.
Top beer. As his new line of ales goes from strength to strength, Johnny Hamsleeves seems to be really capitalising on his success. The former footballer turned entrepreneur seems to be as comfortable in the boardroom as he ever did on the pitch, as Headbutt Ale smashes projected sales figures yet again. To celebrate the achievement, Johnny treated himself to a 24-karat gold toilet he calls Golden Johnny's Golden John. Worth more than the GDP of some nations, the gaudy monstrosity is just as impractical as it is garish, and within hours of getting it home, Johnny slipped off the solid gold seat and cracked 2 ribs on the diamond bathtub. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing
Let's
as
hear this old crazy
unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Glory Hole? Due to the overwhelming public disapproval of their controversial moves, Remington's Fist announced that excavations are to be discontinued and the unfinished tunnel repurposed. Speaking from her divorce lawyer's parking lot, pitiful CEO Sophia Remington admitted the attempt to dig through the earth was short-sighted and ambitious and unveiled the future of the abandoned hole. Sophia hailed the planned underground amusement park as a visionary design. According to a spokesman, it's just like a regular theme park, but damper and more susceptible to cave-ins. Talking things through, a momentous subterranean summit today
Sounds
as the
safe.
imprisoned intellectuals of Dante's Taint met in what was hailed as a breakthrough for tensions in the tunnels. With no help from the surface forthcoming to maintain the separate factions, the two leaders were forced to meet in order to resolve the dispute once and for all. Photos transmitted to the surface captured the surprising moment that the old rivals met face to face once more. Unfortunately, it seems the pair weren't able to forgive or forget, as reportedly Ingrid is still
Hey, is this
unhappy
guy
with
gonna
David's
hit
standards
that?
of statistical significance, while David is angry that Ingrid mispronounced his name. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protests, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers.
I wanna see what that is.
Advance have yet to comment.
That.
As grassroots support for the movement grows rapidly, especially in those areas Advance have not yet been able to fully regenerate, people across the country are starting to fear a return to the bad old days of inequality, division, and multiple television shows about buying houses. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all on tonight's National Nightly News. But first tonight, Our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan
What
Wolf
is going
in
on?
Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
Oh, that was just too much going on that
Thank you for
cutout.
asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns at the University of Princeton. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Failed
yes,
that
it's
one
wonderful,
horribly.
isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
Look at that. We barely have any
And
viewers.
you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Why did the
Amy,
fan
that sounds
turn?
very fancy.
I should say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Oh, I
Right,
just
but
got that.
obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
Yeah? We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you! This is meant to be a celebration! Can't go around looking like that!
Shit,
There you go,
shit,
much
shit.
better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this?
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running
It's
out.
running out, absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof we need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia
we
Jackhammer,
chose that
an
guy.
aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julius Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the guttering.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
I don't polish turds, I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So Gary...
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show, there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Here, this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous and really lovely texture.
Look at all that poo.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way
That's a lot
when
of
it
shit.
covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something.
We haven't even gone to commercial break yet.
Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster. Those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
So what, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the waterway, but I think it's probably the fume valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
That's not really a problem, little song of my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
National news. Shouldn't we cut away?
We cut away.
On we. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
I like how it cut away. You're like, should we cut away?
Why, mate, how's the elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Okay, he's passed out. He's actually unconscious.
Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels.
Apparently.
That's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. 1 minute back.
Well, that was stupid.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest. Advance may request some censorship if he goes too off-topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the normal censoring, but we're not gonna censor the
Jeremy?
My mic is still.
We're doing it. But will that loads? Because I don't. Nah, no, we're good. I did kind of screw up the ending of saving that though, of cutting back to Jeremy, and he's like, should we be cutting back and all of that? And then cut back to him saying stuff, and then cut back. I guess not. Cut. Alright, we're not gonna.
Swings. Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like to disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns.
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned.
Top beer. As his new line of ales goes from strength to strength, Johnny Hamsleeves seems to be really capitalising on his success. The former footballer turned entrepreneur seems to be as comfortable in the boardroom as he ever did on the pitch, as Headbutt Ale smashes projected sales figures yet again.
Smashes.
To celebrate the achievement, Johnny treated himself to a 24-karat gold toilet he calls Golden Johnny's Golden John. Worth more than the GDP of some nations, the gaudy monstrosity is just as impractical as it is garish, and within hours of getting it home, Johnny slipped off the solid gold seat and cracked 2 ribs on the diamond bathtub. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Glory Hall? Due to the overwhelming public disapproval of their controversial moves, Remington's Fist announced that excavations are to be discontinued and the unfinished tunnel repurposed. Speaking from her divorce lawyer's parking lot, pitiful CEO Sophia Remington admitted the attempt to dig through the earth was short-sighted and ambitious, and unveiled the future of the abandoned hole. Sophia hailed the planned underground amusement park as a visionary design. According to a spokesman, it's just like a regular theme park, but damper and more susceptible to cave-ins. Talking things through, a momentous subterranean summit today as the imprisoned intellectuals of Dante's Taint met in what was hailed as a breakthrough for tensions in the tunnels. With no help from the surface forthcoming to maintain the separate factions, the two leaders were forced to meet in order to resolve the dispute once and for all. Photos transmitted to the surface captured the surprising moment that the old rivals met face to face once more. Unfortunately, it seems the pair weren't able to forgive or forget, as reportedly Ingrid is still unhappy with David's standards of statistical significance, while David is angry that Ingrid mispronounced his name. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protest, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. The reckless fire will certainly be remembered by all those who have seen these striking images. As their actions escalate, people across the country are asking themselves, who are Disrupt? And what exactly do they want? Other than a new box of matches, of course. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News. But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner. The great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns at the University of Princeton. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Amy, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
Yeah? We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
What?
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit.
There you go, much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient.
Yeah.
But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julius Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
What's the setup?
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
It's funny how they're so easy after that, but that first one is so tough.
I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So, Gary.
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
You wouldn't mind. Well, go on then. Thank you. Go on then.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Yeah, this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at all blue eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lawrence, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the sting?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. Tell that look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster. Those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
Tell you what, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the fume valves on the high street.
On the high street? Symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next according is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
That's not really a problem, little song of my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous, why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon, feel the Bannon.
All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nana Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Oh, actually unconscious. Are we going to come back?
He'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Baron. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak,
Just
when
casually.
we come back,
Thanks,
I'll
Barry.
be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest, and Barnes may request some censorship if he goes too off-topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work.
And I can't do this anymore.
To say this every Friday.
I've done something.
What do you mean? Jeremy?
What did you do?
My mic is still on.
We've got none of that, but I can tell you what we do have. Danger cards.
Danger cards.
Turn pair. This way.
I've seen that picture before somewhere.
Stay with us in our rustic accommodation. With all
That's what I'm talking about? Cat football? We should be doing an interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grantham Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5 fucking 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur.
I didn't know she
generally,
was
to be
gonna.
totally
They were
frank.
gonna start putting
So I was
makeup
watching
on.
your
them
show,
and,
and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society.
So he's got
Take
nothing
us
but
seriously.
spite.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
We've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come on, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park,
next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say
Oh, wow,
say
we
that.
may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun. Steady on!
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin. A ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once! Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Trying not to piss myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre. Listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a
Let
long
me
time.
cut to the ads. Let me cut to the ads.
Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brinks of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my collapse has stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Right then. You in the broadcast centre. Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right. There's a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of your machines. And when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
Alex, I assume you won't be playing that tape. This stage does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I made myself clear. You seem to know what to do.
Every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or by now, we're going to show the other side for a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
Alex, you're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
Yeah, they are. I've got B on that.
You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization.
Yeah.
A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
This is real life.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labours. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns.
Wait.
But
They
we don't have to
did
accept it.
euthanize.
A great many people already won't. You can resist.
And the
You
studio
can
doors are all
disrupt.
still locked?
Find us.
Yes.
Talk with us. Join us.
So what now?
It isn't hard.
I don't know.
We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected. This was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy? So what now?
It was supposed to be your day off. It was supposed to be your day off.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today. Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long, Jenny? How long?
We're already live.
Jenny?
We're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to the National Joining me unexpectedly, for I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
What's your name? Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. It's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
Huh.
Couldn't or wouldn't.
So we did just euthanize the
Christ, you're
mother.
fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy. Don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
There you are.
That's perfectly understandable. Who'd want to do this? Jenny. Why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
It was the news everyone trusted. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
There's a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that hood came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. The people I met were with. He wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously. I'm sorry. Alan. Seriously. Fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for. God, I love you, Jeremy, but.
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you know it too.
I know it.
Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the funny stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, Paul. What a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grantham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
I don't understand.
Do you want my help, Andy?
Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop. They will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. We're nearly done. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Again. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast from the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up shit creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ is also fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried. I loved the news. And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry. I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please, we can't show this. Cut to the ads. Please, we can't show this.
My name's Jeremy
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can.
Do it now!
Somehow. I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night.
Jeremy! Jeremy!
Am I gonna be in trouble for that? Just the awkward.
Tired of dull and lifeless hair? Fed up of dry and brittle split ends? Then say hello to acid gastrique. The provitamin.
Well, that was interesting. I probably shouldn't have let that go, but I didn't even know like that was gonna happen. I was like, they're not gonna do something like that on a game. But I guess so. Somebody Alpha Drum. Be sure to do the socials listed above. Hit the Discord, find when and where, what I'll be streaming. Again, like, subscribe if you like the stream there. We'll probably see you tomorrow.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight.
Again, as usual, what? Don't know.
Get every single one of you's a bit
But we'll figure it out.
What a wild ride this has been.
But again. Thanks for
Well,
joining.
that's a very
That's just
blunt
a little intenseful ending there, so yeah.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you...
Okay, let me start all of that over. So again, be sure to follow the socials listed above there. Hit the Discord. Like, subscribe if you haven't. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Remember to stay cool. And good day.